From the post-millennial, got a couple stories for you. This is funny. Trump touts American manufacturing tax breaks for U.S. companies that make goods at home in speech to Detroit Economic Club. Ah, yes. He mentioned lowering taxes. He says that your interest payments on your auto payments, they're going to be tax deductible so that working individuals have more money in their pockets. He's talked about no tax on overtime. He's talked about no tax on tips. And what do you think Harris Walz has to counter this amazing maneuver in this campaign season?
The same thing.
The same thing. Oh, no, Tim Walz held a rally next to World of Warcraft.
Oh, my
okay,
God.
this is incredible because this is the meme. There was a meme going around where someone made a video of Harris Walz doing a rally while someone was playing one of those games like Jungle Runner. You ever see that? Or Subway Runner or something? What are they called?
Where you're just constantly running left or right.
No, I know what you're talking about. That TikTok trend,
Right, because people would make videos where they would talk about stuff. This has been a long trend on YouTube for a long time where someone plays a video game while talking about something. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of podcasts were video game play. And then the funniest thing that would happen is when people started to realize that these videos did well, they would take other people's gameplay, put it on the screen, sit back and start talking. So they'd simulate them talking while playing a video game. Well, I guess this is what Harris Walz thinks is going to counter the Trump rally. Look, Trump has a rally where he's like, we're gonna cut your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. And Tim Walz has a rally. He's like, look, they're playing World of Warcraft. Now, the most offensive thing about this is not even that Tim Walz had a video game playing at his rally. It's that they chose World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft in 2006. Okay, this is an old game. The user base is way down. No offense to my WoW friends. I know y'all still play. There was Dragonflight? Was that the latest expansion?
I just got it.
Yeah, but look, the game is nowhere near where it was in vanilla. Sorry. And I was a huge World of Warcraft player.
It's a lot more action-packed now. Like, it's more like less attention span type of game. Like, it used to be you'd hit up your friends and be like, hey, you guys want to go do a dungeon? And it would be like, yeah. Let me take 20 minutes to fly to you, and then we'll find some other people. And you're like, looking for someone that can be a tank, and you're talking to people and getting to know people.
They ruined it.
And now it's just you push a button, you queue up, you get in, and your dude's already running forward, attacking the tank, and you're just chasing after him, trying to heal him. And then the dungeon ends, and they just disappear.
This is kind of wild, too, because without going and wasting time, do they not realize that's what ruined the game? That it was fun when it was hard to build communities and earn the success in the game. But I digress. Back to what people really care about, which I got to be honest, most people probably actually care about the video game. But we talk politics here. Donald Trump is offering real tangible things to the voters. I'm not saying, I know, obviously Democrats are going to say, you can't compare the two, that's not fair. But this seems to be a component of their strategy to get young people or something?
Can I draw a different comparison?
Sure.
This makes me wonder if this shows us a difference between the two sons of these campaigns, right? Like, if this is advice from Tim Walz's son and Barron Trump is like, Dad, go on Theo Von's show. I'm a huge fan. Like, maybe just the youth outreach element. I mean, we saw this a little bit with Ella Emhoff, right? Like, I think some of the appeal with Brat Summer and we must listen to the pop culture icons or whatever else, like if you are surrounded by youth who are like, no, this is cool, then you are going to believe them and reach different audiences.
I love the idea. I thought you were going to go here with this. I love the idea that Tim Walz's son was like, Dad, you have to have World of Warcraft playing alongside you while you speak. And Barron Trump was like, Dad, you need to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible. That is what is going to get Americans to vote for you. But the reality is that's actually a very interesting and well thought out policy. Whenever Democrats propose things like this, it's like, let's give you free college. Like, let's just hand something out for free. And it's not really a well thought out or intricate plan for how you could actually help the economy. I don't necessarily know that I would agree with writing off the interest that you're paying on a car loan. But obviously the auto industry has not been in great condition. COVID really did a number on them. I know that car dealerships, not a lot of people know this, car dealerships, as far as I understand, they can actually tack extra percentage points onto your loan that end up getting paid to the dealership. And that's one of the ways that they make money. And so this would also, regardless of how we feel about that practice, is clearly something that would keep dealerships open, even though that's not a policy that I love. Point is, this is clearly something that some thought has gone into and not how can I pander to the least educated group of voters with free stuff.
It's what I see every single time I scroll my feed. I'll see Trump saying something about tax cuts, and I don't want any. Taxation is theft. I'm done with it. I'm done, especially when you see the 12% self-employment tax, and you're like, I just want to die.
It's crazy. No, when you're self-employed, it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
That they take from you.
But then I scroll down my feed a little more, and I just see a celebrity number 1A is now supporting Kamala Harris, and it's all aimed at just Zoomers. Like they putting a game besides. Now, granted, it's not a game that would appeal. I feel like appeal to Zoomers. Maybe it's they're trying to get people in their 30s because we used to play it, but it's just this hyper attention like deficit audience that needs.
I was going to say, I thought it was an
Right.
ADHD thing
Well,
where you listen better if there's this other thing moving or so. I don't know what it
And I get frustrated because I'll scroll, through Reels or something on Instagram, and it'll be one of those things where somebody's talking about something important, and then somebody's welding beside it on a different screen, and I just immediately scroll because I don't need the distraction. I like to watch, or hear whatever somebody's saying, and that's crazy to me that you have one where there's all these policies, and then you have the other is just here's these celebrities that no one cares
That's
about.
the astroturfing I mentioned earlier in the show, where it feels like it's the Potemkin candidate. Like this guy, they're just putting him near cool things and hoping that it catches fire. Like when I saw this story, for a moment I was like, oh, he plays World of Warcraft? Tim Walz? What's his class? I asked my buddy who sent me the article. He was
That's
like,
what they're
Dwarven
looking
Rogue.
for.
Yeah, and I was like, he plays Dwarven Rogue? Like, how long has he been playing? Did he just make a character? And then I find out he's just given a stump speech next to this guy named Preheat. You want it closer to the face? Serge, give me the wind it up.
But that's all he was doing is like someone's playing a video game while he talks.
Yeah, I thought he was playing at first, and then I was like, okay, it could either be awesome because Tim Walz has been playing Warcraft for 17 years, and now I'm finding out, or it could be really lame that he just made a character. But it's even worse. He's just giving a speech next to Preheat. This
You
Twitch
thought it
streamer.
was a put a gamer in the White House moment, and it is not.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I can identify with this guy. Maybe there's something more to Tim Walz than the weird freaking out looking face thing.
They're just throwing stuff at the wall. Well, every day it's something completely different and something just off the wall. It's going on a random podcast. Like, I don't even remember what it was called. What was that podcast you went on?
Yeah, we were
Daddy?
talking about this, the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
But this also, I mean, look, it used to be the case that the voting age in this country was 21 as well. So it wasn't just, and we were just talking about this, how Trump has these well thought out policies, and you've got all these celebrities endorsing Kamala to try to pander to some 18-year-old who didn't know anything yet. You got to remember, back when the voting age was 21, this was at a time where people were already living on their own and providing for themselves by the time they were 18. You go even further towards the founding of our country, it was like by the time you were 16, you were expected to be able to provide for yourself. So by the time you were 21, you had been living in the real world, dealing with real problems for several years. And then at that point, we were willing to allow a citizen to make civic decisions. Today, you're not even on your own or considered independent in most cases till you're about 22 years old. When you're done with college, it's not considered abnormal to live with your parents before then or not be taking care of yourself. And we let people vote before they even reach that age.
Here's the pitch from Trump. He should say, we're going to raise the voting age to 32, and that way Gen Z, the Democrats, will stop pandering to you. They'll leave you alone, and your advertisements will be K-Flub and Snoosh Snoosh and whatever celebrity name I don't know.
I actually can't think of, other than people who are 18 years old entering military service. I mean, there's some exceptions you can make for people who are really giving to their country, but the idea that by default you are able to vote at 18, I think is ridiculous.
What about one vote per household? And that way, if you're still dependent, you can't vote.
Well,
Nope.
then the
because
what about you'd have to wait it
children
because
dependents
you
can't
have to
vote.
wait it on the basis of children.
Nope, because what you are saying then as single women get more voting power than married men.
Poor
Well,
people
that's what
would
I'm
get
saying. You have
less,
to
too.
wait it. You'd
Absolutely.
have to wait it on the basis of the household.
I think-
So if it's a single household,
If
but
you
it's,
have-
you
how
have
about
8
this?
people there and you're the head of household, you get 8 votes.
How about this? If you don't have kids, you can't vote.
I think there should
Yeah.
be a question
I mean,
about who we allow to vote. But to your point about 18-year-olds, yes, we now treat 18-year-olds like they are actually children. Like, we needed to decide as a culture if we're sticking with 21, and that's true for all kinds of stuff, or if you are an adult at 18 and our expectation is that you behave that way. Because right now, we're kind of doing the worst of both, right? You can't drink until you're 21, but a lot of Americans are starting to drink at 18 because they go to college, which, by the way, they're allowed to sign up for massive amounts of student loan debt, which they can't default on, but they also can't really do anything because we don't expect them to because they're just ridiculous young adults. Like, it's this it's the worst of both because it doesn't incentivize making adult decisions, but it does line you up for long-term financial consequences.
And they're okay with you making adult decisions, particularly the left is okay with you making adult decisions if it's a way for them to exploit you. So, for example, when you're 18 and don't know any better, they'd love for you to vote. They even want to lower the voting age depending on how far they are onto the left because you're easier to exploit. These are people who will tell you that when you're 18 years old, you're too foolish and underdeveloped to be able to take out a loan, but you're mature enough to go post on OnlyFans and have those pictures be on the internet forever. So it's totally incoherent. The reality is they want to get as much as they can from younger people. They want to exploit them maximally. They also know that even the efforts that they claim they're engaged in to make younger people's lives easier are also just another method of exploiting them. For example, student loan debt forgiveness. That is one of the most regressive tax proposals in the country. It redistributes wealth from low earners to high earners. But they're doing that in the name of helping younger people who've taken out these predatory loans when the reality is it's just to buy their votes. So it is literally all about taking everything from them that they can.
Right. I mean, if they were serious about it, both candidates would vow to stop issuing federally backed student loans, but they're not going to.
And this is not some fringe right-wing opinion. Like the National Bureau of Economic Research has pointed this out, that universities respond to tax-subsidized, federally subsidized student loans by raising tuition costs.
Yes.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.